Welcome to today's presentation. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. So, when we talk about communication, we're referring to the process of sharing information, ideas, feelings, or messages between people or groups. The goal here is for everyone involved to understand each other clearly. We do this through various means, words, signs, or body language, all of which help convey our message. It's important to remember that communication isn't just about speaking. It's about making sure the person on the other end actually gets the intended meaning. Think of communication as a two-way street. It's not just about sending a message, but also about receiving and understanding it. This process helps bridge gaps between minds, enabling us to connect and collaborate effectively. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how mastering this process is fundamental to achieving clear and effective exchanges in any context. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's take a closer look at the key stages in the evolution of communication. Starting with the earliest forms, before writing existed, humans used visual signals like smoke signals, drums, and horns to send messages over long distances. These methods were crucial for coordination and alerting others. In addition, early humans created symbols and art, such as cave paintings over 30,000 years ago, which served as a way to record events or tell stories. Petroglyphs, or rock carvings, also played a role in storytelling and passing down knowledge. Moving into the ancient and classical periods, messengers became essential. Carrier pigeons, used by Persians and Romans, allowed messages to be transported quickly across distances, marking a significant step toward more efficient communication. Fast forward to the 19th century, and we see major breakthroughs like postal systems. The Pony Express, for example, used horses and riders to deliver mail rapidly across regions. The invention of the telegraph introduced electrical signals over wires, enabling near-instant messaging over long distances. Then, in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell's invention of the telephone revolutionized communication by allowing real-time voice conversations. In the 20th century, mass media transformed how we connect and share information. Radio, emerging in the 1920s, provided wireless broadcasting of sound, news, and entertainment to widespread audiences. Television added a visual component, combining audio and visual content to reach masses and influence society profoundly. Now, in the digital revolution of the late 20th and 21st centuries, we've seen an explosion of new communication channels. Computers and the internet enable global sharing of information through emails and websites. Mobile technology, especially smartphones, has made instant texting and social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter ubiquitous, facilitating immediate and widespread connections. Overall, the evolution from cave paintings, smoke signals, and pigeons to the internet, smartphones, and social media reflects a continuous drive to overcome distance and speed up information exchange. These advancements have been driven by technology, and their purpose spans survival, record-keeping, and social connection. The key stages include the development of spoken language, writing systems like cave art and scripts, print media, electrical communication like the telegraph and phone, broadcast media such as radio and TV, and finally, the digital age with the internet and mobile devices. Let's take a closer look at the characteristics of communication. First, the core nature. Communication is fundamentally a two-way process, meaning it ideally involves interaction, exchange, and feedback. It's not just about sending a message out into the world without hearing back. It should be a dialogue. Next, it's purposeful. Every act of communication is goal-oriented. Whether we want to inform, persuade, or connect, there's always a specific intent behind it. It's also continuous. Communication doesn't just happen at fixed moments. It's ongoing and dynamic. Even silence can communicate meaning, which highlights how fluid this process really is. Another key aspect is that communication is symbolic. We use words, signs, gestures, symbols that need to be encoded and decoded to create understanding. Without this interpretive process, meaning wouldn't be shared. Now, moving on to the key attributes. Communication is highly contextual, meaning its interpretation depends heavily on the physical, social, and cultural environment. What's appropriate or understood in one context might not be in another. It's multimodal, occurring through multiple channels simultaneously: verbal, nonverbal, visual, all working together to reinforce the message. It's pervasive, meaning it's everywhere, in all levels of management and across all business functions. You can't really escape it. Finally, communication is irreversible. Once a message is sent and received, it can't be fully taken back or undone. That's why clarity and awareness are so important in how we communicate. Let's take a closer look at the importance of communication in management. As you can see, it directly impacts managerial effectiveness, which is at the core of what we do. Effective communication enables us to carry out the fundamental functions of management successfully. For example, in planning and decision-making, clear communication helps gather accurate information, which is essential for creating strategies and making informed choices. When it comes to organizing and coordinating, communication ensures tasks are assigned properly, roles are clarified, and everyone is working in alignment toward common goals. Leading and motivating your team relies heavily on open and inspiring communication. Giving constructive feedback and positively influencing behavior are key to fostering a motivated, engaged workforce. Managing change, on the other hand, requires us to support innovation and help employees adapt to new processes through transparent and empathetic dialogue. Beyond these core functions, communication also enhances efficiency and problem-solving. When information flows smoothly, errors are reduced, solutions are implemented faster, and operational friction is minimized. Building strong stakeholder relationships depends on transparent communication, which builds trust with customers, investors, and partners. It's about being open and honest, which in turn fosters loyalty and confidence. Conflict resolution is another critical area. Providing channels for grievances and managing crises effectively ensures issues are addressed promptly and constructively, maintaining organizational stability. Finally, the overall reputation of a company is shaped through consistent, clear, and positive communication. It influences how the public perceives us and even impacts our employer brand, attracting top talent and reinforcing our organization's credibility. So, as we see, communication isn't just a skill. It's a vital tool that touches every aspect of management and organizational success. Let's take a closer look at the functions of communication. First, we have the instrumental and task-oriented functions. These are all about achieving organizational goals. For example, communication helps us share important data, facts, policies, and updates that are essential for smooth operations. It's also about issuing instructions, setting norms, and guiding how employees behave. Essentially, this function keeps the organization running efficiently. Next, communication is persuasive, which means influencing others to align their interests and commit to shared goals. Whether it's motivating a team or convincing stakeholders, persuasion plays a key role here. Another important aspect is problem-solving, where communication facilitates decision-making by exploring different options and analyzing potential outcomes. This collaborative process helps organizations navigate challenges effectively. Moving on, we have the expressive or emotive function. This is about conveying feelings, attitudes, and emotions. It helps us build empathy and understanding among team members, strengthening relationships within the organization. Then there's the integrative function. This is crucial for maintaining a strong organizational identity, cohesion, and a healthy corporate culture. Through consistent communication, we reinforce shared values and a sense of belonging. Finally, we have the ritual or phatic function. Think of greetings or casual conversations. These support social bonding and strengthen human connections. They may seem simple, but they play a vital role in fostering a positive and collaborative environment. So, as you see, communication serves multiple vital functions that collectively support organizational effectiveness and a healthy work culture. Let's take a closer look at the elements of communication. First, we have the sender or source, which is the person or entity initiating the message. They are responsible for coming up with the idea and encoding it into a form that others can understand. Next is the message itself, the actual information, idea, fact, or feeling that is being conveyed. This can be verbal, like spoken words, or nonverbal, like gestures or facial expressions. Then we have encoding, the process of translating thoughts into symbols, words, or gestures that make sense to the receiver. The channel or medium is the path through which the message travels, whether it's a phone call, an email, or face-to-face conversation. The receiver is the person or audience who receives the message and works to decode or interpret what it means. Decoding is how the receiver makes sense of the message by interpreting the symbols or words. Feedback is crucial because it completes the communication loop. It's the receiver's response, which shows whether they understood or if they need clarification. Now we also have noise, which includes any interference, physical sounds or psychological biases that can distort the message. And finally, the context or environment surrounds the entire process, influencing how the message is sent, received, and understood. In the process in action, the sender has an idea, encodes it into a message, and then sends it via a chosen channel. The receiver gets the message, decodes and interprets it, and then provides feedback. Throughout all this, noise and the surrounding context can affect every step, making communication a dynamic, sometimes complex process. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Now, let's look at some effective ways to overcome barriers to communication. First, it's important to make your ideas clear before you start communicating. This helps ensure that your message is understood from the beginning. Next, pay attention to the timing of your communication. Choosing the right moment can make a big difference. Using language that your receiver can easily understand is also crucial. It helps prevent misunderstandings. Keeping your message short, clear, and to the point helps your audience stay engaged and grasp the key points quickly. It's also essential to check whether the other person has understood your message correctly. Don't assume. Ask for confirmation. Pay close attention to your body language, tone, and overall message content because nonverbal cues can reinforce or undermine what you're saying. Listening carefully before responding is another vital step. It shows respect and ensures you're addressing what's really being communicated. Remember, avoiding interruptions when someone else is speaking allows for a more respectful and open exchange. Finally, keep your message free from bias or judgment. This fosters a safe environment where honest and effective communication can thrive. When we apply these strategies, we create a foundation for better understanding and collaboration, which aligns perfectly with our overall goal of enhancing communication skills.